here. I think I did mention what FSJ is. I did mention where you can apply. I did mention the requirements that you need, and I did also mention the advantages of doing FSJ. I did also mention how much money you make as as a volunteer. Hello there, beautiful people. Thank you for clicking in. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Hey, guess who's back? My name is Mwangi, and I am absolutely excited to be shooting this video for you guys today because it's been a moment. It's been a moment. It's been a moment since I've been sitting in front of my phone, between my camera, and I have missed you. But I am back again, and guess what? I am here to give you a new video on volunteering in Germany. This is a requested video on my channel because I usually just put it under as subtitles in between other videos, but I wanted to do a very comprehensive video about this particular program today. If you know the drill, you know, I give it to you just the way as it is, and I also give you tips on how you're supposed to apply, where you're supposed to apply, what the requirements are, and I am going to start with the advantages of doing a volunteer program in Germany. If you're new to this channel, I do talk about programs that can move you to Germany. For example, Aupair program, and if you're interested in knowing what Aupair program is, go ahead and click on the video with this icon on my playlist, like on my videos. Otherwise, I will attach a link up here. And if you're also looking for information about volunteering in Germany, stick around and let's go. Before I even go, make sure to follow me on Instagram because that's where I do Q&As. I answer all of your questions concerning all these programs, and I also reply to DMs. I know I don't always do it all the time, but once you have a question, I do actually find time to answer you into my DMs. So the link to my Instagram will be down here. So let's just go right into it. So what exactly is volunteering in Germany? What is this thing? So in German language, or in this country, it's called FSJ, but because we pronounce J as J in the German alphabet, it's actually called FSJ. FSJ stands for Freiwilliges Jahr, which means social work for a year, I guess. Direct translation. So what you do is social work for a year. Before I even tell you what this whole program is, I want to start telling you the advantages of doing this program. Number one, it gives you experience just in case after your social program you want to work in the social environment, you want to work in a hospital, you want to work in anything that concerns people or the public, or I don't know what. So it gives you prior experience. Secondly, the advantage of this is if you ever wanted to move to Germany and you didn't know which method to use, this is a great method to use because it's quite affordable, because the only thing you have to pay for is I guess your German course. You just have to be paying for your German course until your language level gets to a particular level. Your German language gets to a particular level, and then you're qualified to apply for these programs. The third advantage is all the things that you can do after you finish this program in Germany. So one thing that you can do after you finish your social year in Germany is you can join the university. There are, of course, another list of other requirements, but at least it puts you in the position to be in this country and to be applying for university. Once you're done, you can also apply for apprenticeship. One of the things that I am doing, I am training to becoming a nurse, and once you do this program, it actually qualifies you to go ahead and apply for apprenticeships in this country. And it's just to clear the point, you don't have to do a social year to get an apprenticeship position. This goes for my people who want to go directly applying for apprenticeship. So the other thing you can do is you can join language course. If you get to B1 and you get here and you still feel like I feel like my language has not yet gotten to the point where I want it, after this program you can efficiently join a language course and keep improving your language until you get to the points where it qualifies you to do multiple things in this country. So that is just a sum of some of the advantages you get when you're doing this program. Apart from you meet great people, I can't assure you of that, but at least puts you in a position to meet new people, I mean, of different cultures, because of course Volunteer is done by people who come from different countries, and also Germans volunteer in other countries, but I'm not going to lie to you, Germans don't volunteer that much. And the reason is they think it's cheap labor. So let's just close the topic here, because you know me, when I start to go this way, we don't stop it. So let's just hold it right there. And those are some of the advantages of why you can do this program. The other advantage is that getting the visa to do volunteer in comparison to doing au pair is actually more. Like, it's, once you have a volunteer contract, you are more likely to get a visa as in comparison to once you have an au pair contract. So if you're also looking for a less risk type of, call it investment, then just go ahead and apply for volunteer. So like I said, it's social work. So where can you volunteer and where can you apply? You can volunteer, number one, in hospitals. If you're someone who wants to study medicine later on, or you want to do nursing, or you want to do anything related into hospitals and anything, you can apply directly to a hospital and you can get what do you call it, accepted, and they could pick you up and you could volunteer in a hospital. Secondly, you could volunteer in places called Tagesfliege. Tagesfliege is, for example, where old people go and spend their days. It's like, call it like kindergarten for old people, where they at least go, old people go and get a structure for their day, and they do things that are good for their age, that prevent them from getting dementia and all these things, or maybe just to deal with old people. You can go and volunteer there. It's not really my cup of tea, but you can do that. You can volunteer in kindergarten. So what you have to do is go on to websites that have kindergarten information. Like if you want to volunteer in a kindergarten, you just go ahead and type kindergarten. I want to volunteer in a kindergarten, and oh my god, what am I gonna say? Like, you Google for open or vacancies to volunteer in a kindergarten. You can also volunteer with people who have or people living with disabilities, if that's a better way to express it. And you can volunteer where they go and spend their day, or you can volunteer where they live, or you can just do anything. Like, what I'm trying to say, it has quite a broad spectrum on where you can apply. Oh my god, I just hurt my baby, sorry guys, sorry. Yeah, you can go and apply at any place that you like, and you can also apply in the zoo. If you like animals, you can go and apply in travel agencies, which is a bit hard, but sometimes they give people these opportunities, so why not? The most common ones are those ones that are related to people, and people with I don't know, like disabilities, or old people, or hospitals. Like, you guys know, where there's also just lesser people working. And then if you also want to volunteer, for example, like a bank, your German has to be very, very good, and mostly they don't give Ausländer is like foreigners. They don't give foreigners these opportunities, because this is what Germans are fighting for, and it's only logical that they'll give the best for their people. It's just what it is, you know. That's just what it is. So that's where you can apply. I will leave relevant links to where you can apply down here. So what's the catch? I mean, I've just been talking of positives about this thing. So where's the catch? The thing is, if you want to do FSJ in Germany, you have to be below at least 27. Like, you have to be below 27 for you to qualify to apply. But if you're above 27, I got you. If you're above 27, you go ahead and apply for another program called BFD, Bundesfreiwilligendienst. I will also attach relevant links to it down here. The thing is, it's exactly the same thing, only that with BFD you earn a little bit more, and with BFD you can also do it if your age is above 27, which you can also do it if you're below. Like, this is just for people who are above 27, you can do it. But also, if you're below 27 and you feel like FSJ is not really my cup of tea, then I will go ahead and do BFD. But like I said, it's the exact same program. Where you can apply for BFD, you can also apply for FSJ. And what you do as an FSJler, like the person who's doing FSJ, is the same thing you do as a BFD, like someone doing BFD, like Bundesfreiwilligendienst. And I'm so excited to tell you that in FSJ, you earn about 400 euros, I guess, or like 350 going up. And in BFD, you earn, I think, about 400 euros going up. I'm not really sure, because I didn't do any of these programs, but just from the information I know from the people around and about me, this is what I get to hear, because I give you guys first-hand information. What I don't know, I also tell you I really don't know. Okay, I don't want to be saying guru, no, Jesus, no, no. So that's basic or slight difference between FSJ and BFD. The second thing, or I don't even know what number it is, but the next thing about FSJ that you want to be very, very careful when you're applying for it is make sure you have accommodation, unless you can be able to afford to pay for your own accommodation in Germany. One thing for sure, the salary that you get as an FSJ or a FSJler or a BFD, like a volunteer in Germany, is not enough for you to be able to pay your rent and to have life to be paying for your normal bills like food and everything. So once you're looking for an FSJ, a keyword to keep in your, I don't know, description or anything that you want to be doing, just make sure they offer accommodation. That's because that's if you can't afford it. I mean, if you can afford it, why not? You can move with whatever you find, because I mean, it's even easier to find those things that don't offer accommodation, because you know, it's just a thing of responsibility, or I don't even want to go down into that topic. The next thing you have to be very, very careful about is to write where you want to do and clearly say what you want to do, because don't sign a contract that just says you come here and volunteer. They will give you the worst job. So if you're going to be signing an FSJ contract, like if you've applied and you're getting a contract, make sure it also completely describes what you're supposed to be doing, because like I said, being a volunteer in Germany can be misunderstood for very cheap labor. So you have to be very careful, you have to be very woke, and to know it's this and not this, this is what I'm supposed to be doing and not this. The other thing about FSJ, if you're wondering, yes, they pay for your insurance. Your insurance is paid for by your employer. Why? Because insurance, first of all, is expensive, and secondly, it's just a thing in Germany that mostly your employer will pay for your insurance, actually an equal amount to what you pay. But I think as an FSJ you pay absolutely no money. Yeah, you Arbeitgeber, which means your employer, pays for your insurance. But if you're also working in Germany, you pay part of it, and your employer pays part of it. But for FSJlers and for BFDs, like people doing all these volunteer programs, your insurance is paid by your employer. Yes, so the other thing about FSJ that's quite important is, what do you have to do to qualify for these things? The application process goes about, first of all, writing what do you call it? Lebenslauf. What's Lebenslauf in English? Like a CV, like, or resume. You have to write one, and you have to write it in German, unless, here's the trick, unless where you're applying they don't specify that you need to have basic German level or basic level of German, or you can be able to speak. This is also a good catch, because if you want to apply to a place where they don't have the requirement being German, and they send you a contract that says you don't have to be speaking German to be able to work with us, you can use that contract at the embassy to apply for visa without any knowledge of German language. So be careful, like, I mean, be woke. I didn't know about this. Is actually something I recently got to know, because I always thought if you want to do FSJ or you want to do all these things, you have to at least have B1 level of language. So depending on where you apply and what they require, like, go ahead and be very, very careful and be very woke. So if you want to do these things with absolutely no German, of course the filtering is going to be too much, and the opportunities are going to be less, because I mean, why do you want to come and speak English in a German speaking country where the majority of people actually speak German? But there are these opportunities out there. So if you want to do FSJ without having to do German, go ahead and look for English speaking opportunities, and you can actually take this contract with you to the embassy. That's a great thing. I find it absolutely amazing. To the people who want to apply when you can speak German, the level of language mostly required is B1, but again, make sure you're careful to see what your contract demands. If it demands A2, you can as well go with A2. And if you don't know anything about A1, A2, A3, A1, A2, B1 levels of language, I would do another video concerning it. But B1 is more like intermittent level. Like A1 is the absolute basics, and then A2 is just, you just learn how to put A1 and B1 together. Then B1 is, you can actually run a whole day in Germany without having to struggle so much with the language. So the requirement is B1, but if you find other places where you can apply with A2, go ahead and do that. The other thing is how to go about the application. Mostly when you go to these websites, which I will link relevant links on the description box, so make sure you go down to the description box and check where you can apply for these things. You're going to need a CV, which I already said. Depending on where you depending on what the requirements are, you're going to either need it in English or in German. You're going to need a motivational letter, and pay attention to this very clearly. Your motivational letter to get a contract from whoever is inviting you in Germany is not, listen carefully, it's not the same motivational letter you use to go and apply for visa. If you never want to get denied visa, I'm not assuring you, guaranteeing you or anything, but be careful not to use the same motivational letter, because the motivational letter you're supposed to be using to apply for the visa in itself at the embassy is completely different, and it has different goals, and it's looking for different information from your motivational letter. Go ahead and check on my videos. I have a video that describes the perfect motivational letter for the embassy. Because let me just go ahead and highlight what I mean. For the embassy, you need to just prove you're coming back to your country. You don't intend in staying in that country for the rest of your life, which is mostly not usually what really the goal is. I don't want to say it's a lie, but it's just not what the truth is. Sorry, it's not what it is, or it's not what mostly happens. But the motivational letter you want to use to apply for the contract, to get the contract from where your employer is one that shows your passion and everything you want to do, why exactly you want to do this, why exactly you want to do it with them and everything. So be careful not to use the same motivational letter at the embassy and the one you use to apply to get what do you call it, to get a Stelle. Oh my god, if you don't want to suffer these things, bro, just go to a country that's not speaking German, because my English is just, it gets bad every day, literally. So that's it. Make sure you're careful to getting about where you're going to be careful of the motivational letter you use for which purpose. So the next thing you're going to need is evidence of learning German language. The thing here is your contract demands that you need to have level or knowledge of German. The only exams that embassies accept come from Goethe Institute. Pay attention, because if you take any other certificate, they will just return your application. The requirement from the embassy, or the standard exam that the embassy accepts, comes from Goethe Institute. Be careful to do, and you can learn your German anywhere and everything, but once they ask for B1 exam, go ahead and do B1 exam at Goethe Institute, because that's the only exam that they consider standard, and it's the only exam that they can relate to. If you guys also want me to drop you a video on how to pass B1 exam, because there are actually tips on how to pass B1 exam, make sure you hook me up or you let me know in the comment section below, and I will give you a few tips, especially on how to pass Hören, which is actually the most difficult part, and was the most difficult part for me. And I can give you tips on how I went round about it, because yeah, I mean, why not, you know? So if you want it, just make sure you let me know in the description box. Also, the last thing that you need to know about FSJ is, once you've sent your CV and your motivational letter and your what do you call this thing? What do you call this thing? Like, I forgot. Like, motivation letter, CV, and your German language certificate. You need to have a ready passport so that you go to the embassy. Once you go to the embassy, I have a whole video on what you're supposed to be saying at the embassy, because guys, I don't know what you guys be saying at the embassy, but there are things you're supposed to say at the embassy. So make sure you check out that video on my channel. It will be somewhere. I actually will attach all the videos that I mentioned in this video at the end of this screen, so you can choose which one you want to go to. If there's anything I did not address about FSJ, make sure you link it down for me, or you mention it at the comment section down below, and I will answer you. Remember also to go through my comments, because most people go ahead and ask questions there, and most times there's actually extra information down here. I think I did mention what FSJ is, I did mention where you can apply, I did mention the requirements that you need, and I did also mention the advantages of doing FSJ. I did also mention how much money you make as an as a volunteer in Germany. I think that's basically all, and the problem with me is I do these videos from my head, so I don't really know if I've forgotten anything, but if I did, just make sure you mention it down in the comment section. And if you guys also want me to interview someone directly and ask them what exactly was volunteer program for you in Germany, like if you really want to hear it firsthand from someone who's done it, also make sure you let me know in the comment section below, because whoa, why not? Why not? Why not? I have absolutely much love for you guys, especially for people who subscribe to my channel. I appreciate you so much, and I guess that's the end for now, and I hope to see you soon. So bye, see you, cheers.